near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Donald X, and today we're going to be talking about all of the DC April 2025 previews and solicitations. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, everybody, the first of these is Superman the World. This is an anthological hardcover with short stories of Superman, as you would guess it, all around the world in the same format that they did with Joker as well as Batman the World hardcovers. This is also going to have a new cover in by Lee Weeks, who is illustrating one of these books. You will also see the works of Jorge Jimenez, Kai Kitago, Marcial, Jefferson Costa, along with Dan Jurgens and a lot of other creators as well. This is going to be retailing for $24.99, 184 pages, and all of it is new content. Next up, we have Superman, The Death and Return of Superman Compendium. This is going to be collecting the same material as they were in the omnibuses, collecting issues 73 to 83 of Superman, Adventures of Superman, issues 496 to 505, Justice League America 69 to 70, Action Comics 683 to 692, Action Comics Annual number 5, Green Lantern number 46, Superman Annual number 5, Superman the Man of Steel 17 through 26, Superman the Man of Steel Annual number 2, Superman the Legacy of Superman number 1, Adventures of Superman Annual number 5, Supergirl Team Luthor Special number 1, and News Time The Life and Death of Superman number 1. This is going to be $59.99 for 1,368 pages of content, coming out on the 20th of May of this year. Also in this same goal, we do have a 2025 edition of Superman the Golden Age Omnibus Volume 1. This is going to be collecting Action Comics 1 through 31, Superman 1 through 7, and New York World's Fair Comics 1 through 2. $125 for 784 pages of content, coming out on the 3rd of June of this year. Next up, we do have Superman Adventures Compendium 1. This is kind of unfortunate because I would have loved to see an omnibus out of this, just like the Batman one, but it is going to be getting the same treatment as Batman Beyond Compendium. This is by Paul Dini, Mark Millar, Terry Austin, Rick Burchett, and so many other creators, collecting the Batman Adventures number 25, Superman Adventures 1 through 28, Superman Adventures Annual number 1, Superman Adventures Special, Superman vs. Lowell Mystery in Space number 1, Superman Adventures Titus Game Edition number 0, and the comic adaptation of the TV crossover episode Batman and Superman Adventures World's Finest number 1, $59.99 for 896 pages of content, with it coming out on the 17th of June of this year. Now also, we got Superman Secret Origin 2025 edition. For those who might not know, not only regarding this, it is going to be the Summer of Superman due to the movie that is coming out by DC. This is, of course, the Jeff Johns and Gary Frank redone Origin of Superman at $19.99, 224 pages, coming out on the 27th of May, collecting, of course, the 6-issue miniseries. Next up, we have Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson, Omnibus Volume 1, one that I can't wait for, and a lot of you guys can't wait for as well. This is going to be collecting the entirety of the World Saga in Action Comics 1029 to 1046, along with the 2021 Annual number 1, Action Comics 22 Annual number 1, Superman 30 to 32, which is the lead-in with Phil Hester. You've got Batman Superman Authority Special number 1, Superman World Apocalypse number 1, Future State Superman Worlds of War 1 through 2, Future State House of L number 1, Gotham City Villains Anniversary Giant number 1, and Infinite Frontier number 0, with Superman and the Authority by Grant Morrison, along with Mikhail Janin. $125 and 1,032 pages is going to be the case for this omnibus, coming out on the 1st of July of this year. Next up, we have Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Who Killed Jimmy Olsen? The hit 12-issue series that has spun out of Bendis' Superman by Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber. $49.99, 344 pages coming. This is going to collect Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen 1 through 12, plus the backup stories from Leviathan Rising Special, Superman number 1, Superman Heroes number 1, and Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen's boss, Perry White number 1. Next up, we got Superman, The Last Days of Lex Luthor by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch. After a long-awaited hiatus, we are finally going to be able to get this book out on the 24th of June at $29.99, 168 pages. And for those who might not be in the know, there are two reasons that this book got delayed. The first of which is that Brian Hitch packed his bags and went over to do books with Jeff Johns specifically Red Coat, over at Ghost Machine imprint at Image Comics, and Kevin Nolan has spent the last couple of years inking and making sure all the details were right on this book. We have issues 1, 2, and 3 coming out with a reprint. Issue number 1 specifically coming out with a reprint in February, along with issues 2 and 3 coming out in March and April respectively. So it will be nice to have this all in one nice magazine black label size hardcover. Next up, we do have Superman Year One by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr., the second of these Black Label books ever to be published. This is going to be $19.99, 216 pages for the entirety of the 3-issue series, coming out on the 10th of June. Next up, we have Batman Beyond the White Knight by Sean Gordon Murphy at $19.99 and 264 pages, coming out on the 3rd of June. This is going to collect the Beyond the White Knight Batman miniseries, issues 1 through 8, along with White Knight Presents Red Hood, issues 1 through 2. Next up, we have Wonder Woman Historia of the Amazons by KSD, along with Phil Jimenez, Nicholas Scott, and Gene Ha on art. $19.99, 232 pages for this Black Label size trade paperback, I should say. This is a trade paperback. The dimensions that they've sent were wrong, but this is going to be magazine size, coming out on the 3rd of June of this year. Next up, we got Superman Volume 4, Rise of the Superwoman. We saw Volume 3 with incorrect solicits that were supposed to go up to issues 16 through 18, along with the Night Terrors tie-ins to Superman. This is going to collect issues 19 through 24, along with the Superwoman Special number 1, which is drawn by Edwin Gallman. So you have art here by Dan Mora, Eddie Barrows, and Edwin Gallman here on this trade paperback, as Joshua Williamson's DC run on Superman continues. Next up, we got Detective Comics Volume 1, Mercy of the Father by Mikkel Yannon and Tom Taylor, who is now on Detective Comics. And there is a little bit of a retcon here with the origin of Bruce. Nonetheless, this is going to collect issues 1090 to 1096 of Detective. This is $29.99 for the hardcover, or $19.99 if you're getting the trade paperback. So there are two options here for Detective Comics, and their relaunching of the numbers, with this one coming out on the 1st of June. Also coming out is Wonder Woman Volume 3 Fury by Tom King, along with art by Daniel Sampere, Bruno Redondo, who did a guest issue featuring none other than Detective Chimp in a one-shot with Daniel Sampere on the art, Carrie Randolph also in the interiors as well. $19.99, 192 pages, coming out on the 20th of May. Also collecting issues 14 through 19 of the Wonder Woman series and the DC All-In Initiative. Next up, we have 4 DC Finest, and this is the first one of which is Batman the Killing Joke and Other Stories by Alan Moore, Mike W. Barr, Jim Starlin, Brian Bolland, Jim Aparo, Norm Brayfogle, and so many other creators. This is a continuation from where they left off with Year 1 and Year 2 DC Finest. This is going to come out on the 20th of May, retailing at $39.99, 608 pages, so pretty much just as beefy as the first DC Finest Batman that came out, collecting issues 413 through 422 of Batman, along with Detective 580 through 589, Batman Son of the Demon number 1, and Batman the Killing Joke one-shot. So those two thrown in there is a pretty nice hefty deal. Up next is DC Finest Catwoman Vengeance and Vindication by Jim Balent, and a lot of Jim Balent. $39.99, 624 pages, coming out on the 10th of June. We also have this collecting not only issues 0 and 13 through 32, along with Annual 2 of DC Finest Catwoman. This is also going to collect Shadow of the Bat, issues 43 to 44, and a story from Showcase 95 number 4, along with, according to the solicitation, stuff that has never been previously collected in these editions. I know that there was a little bit of question as to what it would collect specifically, because it was leaving issues that were collected in the Jim Balent trade paperbacks that were thicker, but we are now going to be not only getting those issues, we are going to be seemingly getting more with this DC Finest trade paperback of Catwoman. Next up, we have DC Finest Metamorpho the Element Man by Bob Haney and Ramona Fradden. This is going to collect Brave and the Bold 57 through 58, 66, 68, and 101. Metamorpho 1 through 17 and JLA number 42. Issues are going to be out on the 17th of June at $39.99 for 592 pages. Al Ewing is currently writing a Metamorpho book at DC, and with the brand new DC Universe in, I am sure that they wanted this out as quickly as possible. And last but not least, we do have Superman Kryptonite Nevermore by Denny O'Neil, Leo Dorfman, Kurt Swan, and Murphy Anderson. previously never before collected Bronze Age issues of Superman at issues 393 to 406, along with Superman 233 to 238, along with 240 to 246. Why 239 isn't in there? It is a reprint of previous issues. This is coming out on the 3rd of June, collecting all of these issues, like I aforementioned, at 576 pages of content. Next up, we have a couple of compact comics, the first of which is by Tom Taylor and Trevor Hairsine. This is Deceased, collecting the 6-issue miniseries at $9.99 at 216 pages of content on the 3rd of June. Next, we have Static Season 1 by Vita Ayala and Nicholas Draper-Ivey, with also some other content from Reginald Hudlin, Greg Pak, Chris Cross, and Dennis Cowan, along with Bill Sienkiewicz. $9.99, 184 pages. This has the same contents as the trade paperback of Season 1 of Static, collecting issues 1 through 6 of the miniseries, along with stories from Milestone Returns Infinite Edition number 0, coming out on the 27th of May. Next up, we have Batwoman Elegy, the Compact Comics edition, collecting, of course, Detective Comics 854 to 863 at 240 pages with the same price, coming out on the 17th of June. This is, of course, the spectacular story by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams. Next up, we do have another DC all-in book, and this is none other than Kelly Thompson's fantabulous run on Birds of Prey, Volume 3, Bird Undercover, issues 14 through 19. This contains a sort of mini storyline with Cassandra Cain, along with a two-parter drawn by Guardians of the Galaxy star artist Juan Cabal, who was on Al Ewing's Guardians. $19.99, 176 pages, coming out on the 17th of June. Next up, we have Flash Volume 3, As Above, by Vasco Georgiev, who is joining Cy Spurrier, who has been on Flash for the last couple of years or so. $19.99, 176 pages, coming out on the 24th of June. Next up, we have another one of these books where you can decide to buy it in hardcover or trade paperback. 232 pages for the Dan Watters, Dexter Soy Nightwing run, and by golly, I love this run. I have started to get into it, and I think this has a chance to be my favorite Nightwing run ever. Again, Watters and Soy on. This is 119 to 124 of those specific Nightwing issues collected in this volume 1. Again, $29.99 or $19.99, depending on which specific type of comic you want to get, along with coming out on the 1st of June. Next up, we got Impossible, the Impossible arc of Batman Superman World's Finest, as Dan Morris says goodbye to the book that he helped spin out with Mark Waid. At $24.99 or $17.99, again, you are given the choice for which specific version you want to buy, standard hardcover or trade paperback. At 176 pages of content, this is going to collect World's Finest, issues 26 through 31, coming out on the 24th of June. Next up, we got Absolute Batman Hush 2025 edition, as if we already didn't see this coming, with the return of Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb to Batman. $100, 372 pages, coming out on the 7th of October. This is going to collect, of course, 608 to 619, along with the 2-page origin and special interlude from Wizard Comics magazine. Not sponsored by Lars Pearson. Next up, we have Cosmic Odyssey, the Deluxe Edition 2025 edition of the specific hardcover. $39.99, Jim Starlin, Mike Mignola, 200 pages, coming out on the 3rd of June. This is going to collect issues 1 through 6 of Cosmic Odyssey. Next up, we got DC vs. Vampires World War V Volume 1 by Matt Rosenberg, Tyler Boss, and Joey Esposito, along with Otto Schmidt and Nicola Cismesia, Aki Bright, and more artists to be named. $29.99, 208 pages, coming out on the 3rd of June. This is going to collect the first 6 of the 12-issue World War V DC vs. Vampires Elseworlds storyline. Next up, we got the Deceased Omnibus by Tom Taylor, Trevor Hairsine, and so many other creators, Laura Braga. $125, 1072 pages, coming out on the 17th of June, collecting Deceased 1 through 6, A Good Day to Die 1, Dead Planet 1 through 7, Hope at World's End Digital chapters 1 through 15, Unkillables 1 through 3, and War of the Undead Gods 1 through 8. So if you're looking for the entirety of the Deceased saga, this is the way to get it. Also in this, we do have Dr. Fate by J.M. DeMatteis at $59.99, so price error on the $29.99. J.M. DeMatteis, Keith Giffen, 776 pages. coming out on the 20th of May. This is going to collect Dr. Fate 1 through 4, Dr. Fate 1 through 24, along with the annual number 1. So all of this nicely collected in this compendium type of trade paperback. Next up, we do have Green Lantern Volume 3, Power of Will by Jeremy Adams, Mark Guggenheim, and Philip Kennedy Johnson, along with art by Fernando Passarin, Marco Santucci, Matthew Clark, Derek Robertson, and Claire Albert on the inks. This is going to collect issues Green Lantern 13 through 15, along with Absolute Power Task Force 7 number 3, 1999, 176 pages, coming out on the 20th of May. Next up, we got the Jenny Sparks Black Label book by Tom King, collecting the entire 7-issue miniseries, again by Tom King, with art by Jeff Spokes at 1999, 216 pages, coming out on the 27th of May. So another Tom King book that is getting the trade paperback treatment first before we could get a deluxe cover of it someday. Next up, we got Looney Tunes Catch That Wascally Wabbit. Got Dan Slott, Jennifer Moore, along with a couple of other creators here. Hey, Dan Slott, coming over to DC soon. $14.99, 144 pages, coming out on the 20th of May. This is going to collect issues 47 through 53 of Looney Tunes. Next up, we got Milestone Compendium number 4 by Dwayne McDuffie, John Rosen, Ivan Velez Jr., Matt Wayne, MD Bright, and Chris Cross, Humberto Ramos, and so many other different creators. $59.99, 13 and 44 pages, coming out on the 17th of June. Collecting Blood Syndicate 28 through 32, Hardware 29 through 38, Icon 28 through 37, Cobalt 15 through 16, Long Hot Summer 1 through 3, My Name is Holocaust 1 through 5, Shadow Cabinet 14 through 17, Static 26 through 31, and Zombie 12 through 21. Next up, we got Batman Detective Comics and U52 Omnibus Volume 1. This is, of course, the Tony S. Daniel run, later joined in with John Layman and Jason Fabok. This is going to collect issues Detective Comics 0 through 24, along with Annual 1 through 2, and Penguin, Pain, and Prejudice 1 through 5. $125 for 48 pages of content, coming out on the 24th of June of this year. Next up, we got Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven Compendium 2 by Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel, with Greg Land joining 2, coming out on the 20th of May at 1,120 pages at $59.99 USD. Coming out in this specific trade paperback is Nightwing 26 through 59, 80-page Giant number 1, Nightwing Secret Files and Origins number 1, Action Comics 771, Batman Annual 23, Birds of Prey number 8 and 2221, and stories from Batman Chronicles 20 and DC Holiday Bash 2 number 1. Next up, we got Absolute Preacher getting a brand new edition with the DC Bullet logo by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. $150, 736 pages, coming out on the 21st of October, so a 2-year gap between volumes 2 and 3 of the reprints of this series. Issues 41 through 66 are collected in here. Next up, we got Red Lanterns, the New 52 Omnibus by Pete Milligan, Ed Benes, Miguel A. Sepulveda, Charles Soule, and so many other creators. Also collected in this is Green Lantern issues 23, 23.1, 24, 28, Green Lantern Corps 24, New Guardians for Green Lantern 24, Green Lantern Annual number 2, Infinity Man and the Forever People 5 through 6, Red Lanterns 1 through 40, Red Lanterns Annual 2014 number 1, Red Lanterns Futures End number 1, Stormwatch number 9, and Supergirl 26 through 33. $125, 1,456 pages, coming out on the 10th of June. Next up, we do have Authority Book 2, the 2025 edition with a new Bullet logo by Mark Millar, Warren Ellis, and Tom Payer, with Frank Wiley, Dustin Nguyen, and Arthur Adams, along with Brian Hitch. $34.99, 504 pages, coming out on the 17th of June. Authority 13 through 29, Authority Annual 2000 number 1, Stories from Wildstorm Summer Special. Next up, we got the Authority Omnibus 2025 edition by Warren Ellis, Mark Millar, Tom Payer, Brian Hitch, Frank Quietly. $125, 984 pages, coming out on the 1st of June of 2025. Coming out in this is Authority 1 through 29, Planetary, The Authority Ruling the World, Authority Annual 2000 number 1, Jenny Sparks, The Secret History of the Authority 1 through 5, and Stories from Wildstorm Summer Special number 1, and Wildstorm, A Celebration of 25 Years. Next up, we got Batman, the Scooby-Doo Mysteries, Volume 6. This is going to be $12.99, 128 pages. coming out on the 10th of June, collecting issues 7 through 12 of Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries. Next up, we got DC Universe by Steve Ditko. And a lot of Steve Ditko, and also Dennis O'Neil, Michael Fleischer, Wally Wood, Mike Royers, and other creators in this as well. 1,264 pages, $125 of content, coming out on the 10th of June. In this is Detective Comics 483 to 485, Legends of the Universe 80-page giant number 1, Tales of the New Gods number 1, House of Secrets 139 and 148, World's Finest Comics issues 249 to 255, Adventure Comics 467 to 478, Showcase 73 and 75, House of Mystery 236, 247, 254, 258, 276, First Issue Special number 7, Beware the Creeper 1 through 6, Canceled Comics Cavalcade number 2, Strange Adventures 188 to 189, Legion of Superheroes 267, 268, 272, 274, 276, 281, Shade the Changing Man 1 through 8, Plop 16, Weird War Tales 46, 49, 95, 99, 104 to 106, Secrets of Haunted House number 9, number 12, 41, 45, The Unexpected 189 and 221, Ghost 77 and 111, Mystery in Space 111 and 114 to 116, Time Warp 1 through 4, Stalker 1 through 4, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes 257, Amazing World of DC Comics 13, The Outsiders number 13, The Hawk and Dove issues 1 through 2, Man Bat number 1, DC Special Series number 9, and Action Comics 642. I cannot feel my mouth right now, but oh my gosh, that is a lot of content in that book. Next up is Batman 89 Echoes by Sam Hamm and Joe Quinones. This is the sequel to Batman 89 by that same creative team, coming out on the 17th of June, $24.99. But I would actually expect some delays on this because some of these issues have gotten pretty heavily delayed. Issues 1 through 6, of course, are collected in here. And last but not least, we do have The Spectre, The Wrath of the Spectre Omnibus 2025 edition by Michael Fleischer, Gardner Fox, Jim Aparo, Neil Adams, $99.99, 680 pages, coming out on the 3rd of June, collecting issues 60 to 61 and 64 Showcase, Raven the Bold 72, 75, 116, 180, and 199, Spectre 1 through 10, Wrath of the Spectre number 4, Adventure Comics 431 to 440, and DC Comics Presents 29, along with Ghosts 97 to 99.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
That's going to be it for this video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're going to be picking up any of these books and which ones you are most excited for. I'm Dom of X. You be you. Take care and dominate the day wherever you go.